Welcome to my creative space. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Welcome to another DIY video. If you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe and join this creative squad. In today's video, I will be showing you how I upcycle these 3 signs that I purchased from a thrift store. Now, you don't have to purchase anything. You might already have some signs at your home laying around and you don't like them anymore and you're looking for ways to upcycle them. Well, you found the right video. Now, I am going to be showing you what I did with mine and I know you can't wait to see it. So let's get started. For the first project, I will be using this sign that only cost me $2.92. I love this one because it looks like a wooden plank and it could not be better than this. Now, I'm also going to use a few Dollar Tree items such as the cubes, the wooden beads, and the word home. Now, I'm also going to use some white paint and some stain. Now, first things first, I'm going to start by unscrewing the hanger in the back of this wooden plank. And I removed both of them. We're not going to need them and you'll see why. Now, this one also has some staples in the back. They were bothering me, so I had to remove them. And once I was done with that, I took my sander and I'm going to remove everything on top of this. Now, I decided to only sand the top part, the part that I'm going to be using the most. And once I was done, here is what it looks like. Now, as you can see, I left the back alone. And now we are going to start painting this. Now, I will be painting this white. And I will give it 2 good coats of paint and then we're gonna let it dry. But I wish I had some chalk paint, which this one always works good, but I did end up picking up some chalk paint later on that week and I didn't use it, but I wish I had it. But anyways, so here it is. I am also going to be painting the edges because the edges they were like an off-white color and I wanted this to look all evenly, so I started painting the edges. Not the top part because I sanded needed 2 layers, so I do go back in there and do another layer because you could still kind of see through the bottom of it and I want this completely covered. So once that is done and dried, I turned it around and again, I didn't sand this part, but I did paint it. I gave this only 1 coat of paint. 1 coat was good. I did 2 in the middle wooden piece just because it had the price and that sticker on there, but that was all I did. Now I am going to be spray painting the word home. This one is from Dollar Tree, came in a pack of 2. I had already painted it white and now we're gonna paint it black. Now that's gonna dry and now we are going to take our wooden pieces. As I say at the beginning, I am using 4 of the big cubes and I will be using some of these beads. I picked the ones I am going to be using and I guess I also used this twine. I forgot to mention that in the beginning, but I used some twine so it can hold my beads in place. Now, as you can see now, I am separating the beads that I'm going to be using and I picked all the same amount for each side and I am going to start running them through the twine and I do like small and big ones so they're kind of mixed in there. Now that it's done, now it's going to be time to stain our wooden pieces. The stain color will be in my description box if you're interested, but it's the same color I use in maybe all my videos and I'm barely running low on it. So here, I think I've had it for like a year now and now I'm gonna have to buy another one, but they last you a long time. But anyway, I finished the cubes and now I am staining the little balls. Now this was a little bit of tedious work, but I got it done. I stained every single bead and it looks amazing. Now, as you can see, I'm on to my last one and then we're going to let that dry. Okay, the next step is to put all these pieces together. And if you guessed that we were going to use the cubes as legs, you were correct because that's exactly what we're going to do. So I'm going to be using some hot glue to glue the cubes to the bottom of my wooden plank. And I am just eyeballing it and, try to get it as close as I can and as even as I can. Now, here is what it looks like. Now we are going to take the beads that we have and we create, or I guess the two strings of beads that we did, and we are going to be using those as handles. As you can see, I ran the twine through the cracks and I am going to be gluing them at the bottom. I will be using hot glue. I did not want to staple anything because I don't want my sign to be messed up or like the staples to run right through it, because that's not what I'm going for. I'm going for a clean look. And now I'm just adding extra hot glue to both ends to make sure that they are secured. And hot glue works good for me. So that's what I'm going to be using. And this is going to be a tray, but I am not going to be carrying it around. So hot glue will be totally fine. But, you know, as always, if you want it to be extra secure, then just find a stronger glue. And now I finished the other handle off camera. How gorgeous is this already? I love it. Now I am going to be gluing down the word home. Now I played around with it just so you can see like the different places that you can put it. But I decided I'm going to put it on a corner just so I can see it once I, you know, style it and sit stuff on top of it. But that is all for this sign. And now let's take a look at how this sign used to look. And now let's take a look at the end result. And here it is. I absolutely love what I did with this one. One of my favorites for sure. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. For the next project, I found this really cool round sign. It cost me $2.92, and as you can see, it has some problems, but it's okay. Now, I'm also going to use some vinyl for some words, and I will be using some wooden beads as well as my trusty white paint. Now, I am going to start with my sander, and I'm going to remove the words that this sign has because we don't need this one. It's not Christmas, and we're going to totally upcycle this. So we're going to remove it, and then we will jump to the next step, which you guessed, it is going to be painting. Now I am using my trusty apple barrel white paint, and I will be giving this sign 2 coats of paint. I will give the top part of this sign 2 coats of paint, and then around the edges as well, just to be sure that, you know, I cover everything. Now once that is done, and we're going to let it dry here in a second, we're gonna move on to the next step. Now this is my sign already dried, but I had so many ideas and I could not decide what I wanted to do. I finally settled for this one, so I created a sign to hang inside my home. I was like going back in between doing this or creating a front door sign, because this sign is like really big. It was like 17 inches, and I was really excited that I found something this big for so cheap. But anyway, so I used my Cricut machine and I cut the words, "This is us," "the Durant family," "our life," our, I don't remember what it says at the bottom, but then it also says "our home." Sorry, I can't remember. But so I just used, you know, my Cricut machine, cut the words. And as you can see, I had to cut it in 2 pieces because, of course, the Cricut machine is not wide enough for me to do it all at once. So I cut it in half and then, you know, put it together. Now this is like a really easy project, you know, a really easy upcycle, but I think it turns out amazing. Also love it. And I know I say I love my things, but I really do love these projects. Now the next step is going to be creating a hanger. So for that, I will be using the wooden beads. Now it's amazing the Dollar Tree started selling them, because I don't know, I can just go to the Dollar Tree and pick them up now, and I'm running them through the string. Now I do some of them black, and I am going to be using some black spray paint just because it's faster for me to be done. But if you want to use some chalk paint and like hand paint this, then be my guest. You know, not stopping you from doing that. But for me, spray paint does the job, and it does it faster, especially when I'm limited of, you know, time. So that's what I end up doing. But I will say I don't love that it was shiny, but you know, whatever. Those are things that I can oversee. Okay, the next step, as you can see, here is my sign. I'm gonna turn it around, and at first I was going to paint the back. I promise you I was, but I honestly ran out of time, and I was trying to finish this project. But it does bother me, but I'm not gonna see it, and I'm sorry if you're disappointed. But you know, I guess it's just gonna have to sit there until one day maybe I'll have time to paint it. But anyway, as you can see, we are hot gluing and also stapling the hanger to the back, and I add the staples and then I add a ton of glue just to be sure that it's not going to be moving around. And that is technically all for this project. How easy was this? And now let's take a look at how this sign used to look like. And here is the end result. I think this turned out amazing. I love this sign. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Will you have done something different? I want to know. And for the last but not least project, I am going to be using this wooden sign. And here is what it looks like, both sides. I want to say this one was $2 or $2.92, close to the ones I already used. I'm also going to use some vinyl, the word family from Dollar Tree, and here's my chalk paint. Now I am going to start with the sign, of course, and I am going to start removing the strings. Now these are stapled to the back of this, so I took a screwdriver and I started pulling them out. As you can see, I also grabbed the pliers because they were kind of just sticking out, and that helped me to, finish pulling the staple. Now for this project, I was not sure what I wanted to do, honestly. I was happy to find it because it's a wooden sign, but I wasn't sure what to do. So I ended up going for, just creating a regular sign. But for this one, I did not have a lot of ideas. So let me know in the comments down below if you would have done something different with this. I would like to know. Now, as you can see, I'm finishing up. I pulled the strings. I'm saving that twine because we might need it in the future. But once we're done pulling the staples, we are going to sand down the words. Now you could totally paint this a different color, but I wanted to take advantage of this being actual wood, so I decided to just sand this down. And it took me a minute to, get rid of all the words. And then I wanted to keep this grayish wood color. But once I started removing the letters, it was going to be different colors because at the bottom is like a lighter wood. I guess it had a stain on top. And once I started, sanding it, it started coming off. So I had to, remove everything so we can start fresh. Now, I really wanted to pull the some more color on this because it kind of was like blank, well, not blank, but it was kind of like too light for me. So I grabbed my trusty stain, the same color I always use, info will be in my description box, and I grabbed a brush and kind of just like created some strokes with it. I did not cover this completely because I did not want this to be all the same color. And then once I was happy, I grabbed a paper towel and kind of rubbed the paint on it. I was nervous that these were gonna look like this because, trust me, it did not look pretty to me either. But I grabbed my sanding sponge and kind of went over it, and I was still not happy with it. And I was like, well, maybe we'll see. I'll give it a day to dry and we'll see what it looks like, and you will see here in a second. So for now, we're gonna put it to the side. Now I am going to take the word family. This is from Dollar Tree, and the paint I picked it up from Hobby Lobby, and I am going to be painting it white. I could not decide what color I wanted to do for this one, and I decided to just settle for white because I'm simple like that when it comes to paint decisions, I will say. But anyway, so once I finish painting the front, I want to be sure that I paint the edges because I don't want them to be different color. And so I had fun painting this completely in white, all around it, everything. Now, here is what the sign looked like the next day. And let me tell you, I was so happy because I was nervous. I was like, this is going to look awful. But I guess once it dried and everything settled, I do end up loving how the color turned out. Now, as you can see, I cut some words and it says some call it chaos, we call it family. So that's what I decided to settle for this sign. So now I'm going to start adding them to the wooden sign. And it's a simple project, but I really love how this turned out. Honestly, I loved all three projects, and I don't know. Let me know what you think if you like these kind of videos. I really enjoyed it, and it was like therapy for me because I had a really tough week, and here lately I've been having like really hard days for me in my head, I guess. But I was really happy with how all of these turned out. Let me know in the comments down below if you would like to see more videos like this. I would be more than happy to do stuff like this. But if you have any ideas, also let me know, because I would like to hear. I love reading your comments. Thank you so much for always being so sweet to me. If you made it all the way towards the end of the video, I want to thank you for supporting my channel. It means a lot. And here soon, hopefully, I will be reaching 8K subscribers, and I want to do something special, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, jumping back to the video, we are gluing the word family down, and yeah, I just love how simple this project is. Honestly, this is all for this project. Now let's take a look at how this used to look like. And now let's take a look at the upcycle version of this. And here it is. It's already hanging on my walls and I'm so excited. I absolutely love it. Let me know which one of these signs was your favorite. Don't forget to comment down below. Tell me everything. Let me know which one's your favorite. Let me know what you like to see for my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you on my next DIY. Bye!